Here we go. Well, hello there, folks, and welcome in to a very special edition of the night shift here on the MI6 Sports Network. Well, this is not technically a night shift episode. This is instead the MI6 Sports Network's 100K celebration. That's right. On Thursday, if you were tuning into our NBA draft coverage with myself, Callan, along with John Alcorn, Chris Mabry from the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network, and also Trevor Williams, you would have heard that we reached 100K total views, 100,000 total views, folks. Yes, sir. That's right. We have reached 100,000 views here on all of our platforms here on the MI6 Sports Network. That is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, etc., etc., etc. We've reached 100,000 views, and tonight we are going to celebrate us reaching that accomplishment here on the MI6 Sports Network. We are going to talk some sports because there's been a lot of stuff, going on in the sports world. And then we're just going to reflect here about, MI6 and how it's been the last couple of years or the last year doing MI6 programming. And, the fans, feel free to put in your guys' thoughts about what you guys have to say, how MI6 has impacted you, what you guys like about MI6 programming. I'll read it live on the air. Right now, I'm joined by my guy, Edward Lee. Right now, he is in the back. He's going to be just watching this program as we go along, and I'll be joined by a few of my other co-hosts and colleagues here on the network. Unfortunately, Callan McClure could not be with us tonight. He had something pop up, so Callan will not be joining us, but hey, we will get some statements from Callan probably as we go to the MI6 reflection segment. Stephen Wang, John Alcorn, Martin Garcia, and others could be joining us later on in the program. But folks, feel free to fire away in the comment section. Any comments, we will read them live on the air. My guy Casey King says, "Good evening, guys. What's going on, Casey? Welcome in to our MI6 Sports Network 100K celebration." Also, my guy Shardo Gupta says, "Hi, Isaiah. What's going on, Shardo? Sorry about the technical difficulties that you had here for some reason." And Chardot asked me, "How are you doing, Isaiah?" I'm doing great. It's great to be here to celebrate the 100,000 view milestone of the MI6 Sports Network. Folks, feel free to share this video across, wherever social media platforms that you guys are on: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, etc. Feel free to share it everywhere. We want to get this video boosted up in terms of viewership. But let's go on into the sports world before we get into our MI6 reflection and our celebration on about MI6. My guy Casey King says, "Congrats on 100,000 views." Casey, thank you so much. And thank you so much for being a very loyal supporter and viewer of the MI6 Sports Network. But, folks, going into our first topic for tonight, we're going to go into the Russell Westbrook trade. We got to get into that. That was one of the biggest stories that dropped during the NBA draft. We talked about it a little bit during the NBA draft when we had our NBA draft coverage, but we're going to get into it more in depth now. And if you guys did not hear what happened, the Los Angeles Lakers acquired Russell Westbrook from the Washington Wizards and a couple of second-round picks, I believe in 2024 and 2028, in exchange for Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and the Lakers' first-round pick, or in the 2021 NBA draft. My thoughts on this move is that I love it. I freaking love it. And let me take you guys back to Thursday afternoon. I was on a call with my guy Callan McClurg, and me and Callan, we were talking about the Lakers, and Callan had reported that, Woj had reported that the Lakers, Montrezl Harrell had opted into his contract, his $9 million player option. So with him doing that, the Lakers were now free to complete the Buddy Hield trade that would have sent Harrell and Kuzma, and I believe the number 22 pick, to the Sacramento Kings in exchange for Buddy Hield. And I said at that time, I like Buddy Hield. I really do. But I don't want the Lakers to make that trade. I wanted Westbrook first and then Buddy Hield. If you couldn't get Westbrook, then go get Buddy Hield. Because what the Lakers needed this offseason was they needed a playmaking guard, because you had LeBron James and Anthony Davis last year, and Dennis Schroeder was supposed to be that guy, but Dennis Schroeder did not do anything in the postseason. He wanted a 4-year, $100+ million contract, and I told Callan, I told John, I told everybody on the MI6 Sports Network that there was no way I was giving Dennis Schroeder that big of a contract. He did not deserve that type of a contract, and a team that gives him that type of contract would be absolutely foolish to give Dennis Schroeder that type of a contract. So I said, no, you're not giving Dennis Schroeder that type of a contract. Look at what's out there. This might be, folks, the best free agent class for point guards. You got Schroeder, you got Lowry, you got Lonzo Ball. The Westbrook trade was out there. You had Chris Paul, even though I don't think he's going to go anywhere. We're going to talk about him when we reach our NBA free agency prediction segment. He's out there as well. You could do better than Dennis Schroeder with all the options that were out there. And I said that, even though Russell Westbrook, I don't know how the fit would be, but he's still better than Dennis Schroeder. He is a dynamic basketball player, a future Hall of Famer, and he's the guy that the Lakers needed to target. It's time we stop targeting these, third tier, second tier players like a Dennis Schroeder or like a Buddy Hield, and get a third star. LeBron James and the Lakers have been trying hard to get that third star. And I kept saying, you need to get a legitimate third star. Dennis Schroeder, I like the guy, but he's not a third star. He's more of a sixth man instead. I don't know why he wants to be a starting point guard. Maybe it's, to try to enhance his market, but the Lakers needed a legitimate third superstar. And I was telling Callan at that time when they, when the Russell Westbrook rumors, it looked like the Buddy Hield rumors, my bad. It looked like Buddy Hield was coming to the Los Angeles Lakers. I said, my gosh, Rob Pelinka is going after these third-tier players again. It's going to end the same way that the Schroeder thing ended it. And Buddy Hield, I like Buddy Hield, but he's just inconsistent and he gets paid $20 million. If I'm paying a guy $20 million, I want to get great value out of him. And Russell Westbrook, even though he's getting paid like a gigantic amount of money, $44 million, I believe it is, he would have given you great value. And I said no to Buddy Hield, yes to Westbrook. Go get Westbrook. And then, folks, literally 2 minutes after I said that, Callan says, Isaiah, hold up. Breaking news from Shams Charania. The Lakers and Wizards are engaged in talks that will send Russell Westbrook to LA. And then I got confused. I was like, 2 minutes ago, you said Lakers are probably on course to complete the Buddy Hield trade. Now, all of a sudden, we do a complete 180 and we go from Buddy Hield to Russell Westbrook in just a matter of 2 minutes. That might have been the craziest day or the craziest afternoon I have ever experienced in my entire life covering basketball and watching basketball. I mean, it's crazy, man. I've never ever experienced something like this. And the Westbrook thing just took off from there. And I am so freaking happy and fired up that we got our third star. It is about that time that we finally get that third star and get a big three with LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook on the same team. I've been wanting a third star in the Lakers purple and gold for a long time, and we finally got that third star. And let me tell you, I'm definitely going to be watching every Laker game, not because I'm a Laker fan, but because I want to see how the dynamic between Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis works. LeBron James and Russell Westbrook, they both need the ball in their hands. Anthony Davis, he's not going to, step back and be your number 3 option. No way. So who's going to be your third option? LeBron and Westbrook both need the ball in their hands. Is Westbrook going to be the third option? Are you going to have Westbrook play off the ball and be a shooter, even though Russell Westbrook, he did improve last year in terms of shooting, but he's still not that good of a shooter. So I'm really interested to see how this big three is going to work between LeBron, Westbrook, and Anthony Davis. I don't think you can say that they're the favorites right now. And I'm a Laker fan. I'm admitting that right now. I don't think you can say that the Lakers are the favorites to win the NBA title because you don't know how this big three is going to mesh. There's just a lot of question marks regarding the fit of the big three. There's a lot of question marks regarding, who else the Lakers are going to put around the roster. I've been hearing DeMar DeRozan might take a significant pay cut. JJ Redick, he might take a significant pay cut. Dwight Howard, he might come back to LA. Carmelo Anthony. So until this roster gets put together, then I'll judge, to see who. Well, until this roster gets put together, then I think you have to say the Brooklyn Nets are the favorites right now. But it makes the Lakers a very interesting team to watch. I think they're way better than they are last season with Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. It's going to be an interesting next few days in NBA free agency to see who comes and signs up with the Lakers. But I love this move for the Lakers because, let's face it, they didn't really give up too much. Montrezl Harrell, he was inconsistent, and he was also a cancer in the locker room. You look at his days with the Clippers teammates didn't like him. You look at what happened last year, there were reports that he clashed with some of his teammates. Good riddance that guy is out of here. Then you look at Kyle Kuzma. Like Kyle Kuzma a lot. I really do. But Kyle Kuzma, folks, he's inconsistent. He really is. He's inconsistent, and if you're able to get a guy like Westbrook for Kyle Kuzma, hell yeah, you do that any day of the week. And also, Kyle Kuzma, maybe a change of scenery will do him well. But he's got to stop having this attitude that, like reports are saying, that he thinks he's Jason Tatum level. Like, bro, come on, man. That's why you didn't fit with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, because you had that level, you had that attitude that instead of being a role player and helping to contribute to wins, you thought you were the next Jason Tatum. And I'm here to tell you, you're not even a poor man's Jason Tatum. And Kadavius Caldwell-Pope, like the guy, really good shooter, really good defender. But to get Westbrook, hell yeah, I would do that any day of the week. So I like this move for the Lakers a lot. I think it's a big time move by Rob Pelinka and the Lakers front office in pulling this off. So glad that we finally got a third star to pair with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. I think, they're going to need some time to work out the fit, but I think what the Lakers need to do now is I think Westbrook needs to be the point guard because that's how it's going to work. Westbrook off the ball is a total disaster. Westbrook needs to be the point guard. LeBron, play off the ball a little bit more. Just get the ball in the paint and just plow your way to an easy bucket because we all know you're unstoppable in the paint. If the Lakers could do that with Westbrook at the point guard, LeBron James as the power forward, and Anthony Davis playing center, I think the Lakers would be unstoppable once they work out the kinks of this fit of this new big three. But going into our comment section, we had a lot of comments that flooded in. My guy Shardo Gupta says, I really agree with the Westbrook trade in LA. My guy Evan Wong. Evan says, congrats. By the way, find me at the A's game on Tuesday. I will definitely do that, Evan. Can't wait to see you there. It's going to be a fun game against those San Diego Padres. Chardot says, Russell Westbrook, he will be really great on the Los Angeles Lakers. Also, Chardot says, congratulations on reaching 100,000 views. Appreciate it, Chardot. Casey King says, barring injuries, there should be no excuses for the Lakers to win it all with Westbrook, LeBron, and healthy AD. They should be dangerous and tough to beat. I agree with you, Casey, on that. But until I see how the roster is constructed around this big three, I still got to give it to the Brooklyn Nets. Now, if Pelinka is able to land DeRozan on the mid-level exception or on the veteran minimum, that would be amazing. If he can land Carmelo Anthony and JJ Redick. JJ Redick is a guy that I think will be a huge boost for the Los Angeles Lakers. If he can land those three guys, the Lakers are no doubt the favorites because JJ Redick will be wide open any day, all day of the week because the attention will be focused on LeBron. They'll be focused on Russ. They'll be focused on AD. Just kick it down to the corner. You got JJ Redick open for a corner three, and that's all she wrote. JJ Redick will be a perfect fit for the Los Angeles Lakers, and I hope that there's the reports are true that he's willing to take the veteran minimum to come to LA to win. I don't know how true is that, but I'm hoping it is true. Carmelo Anthony, I think he would be a great scorer off them. Imagine Carmelo Anthony and DeMar DeRozan off your bench. You got a big three in the starting lineup, and you got a big two in your bench. The Lakers would be totally unbeatable, and they would be such tough to beat. Casey King says Dennis Schroeder was a bust. Totally agree with you on that, man. Sterling Engo tunes in. He says, congrats, Steven, on 100,000 total views. Keep up the great work and have fun while doing it. Really appreciate the compliment, my man, and thanks for tuning in. Casey King says Lakers. I hear also talking about bringing Dwight Howard, and I'd be all for it as he was a key to the Lakers bench during the Lakers title run in 2020. Hey, Dwight Howard for the veteran minimum, sign me up for that all day, every day, because Dwight is a guy that brings the energy. He's very physical. He's a guy that you could throw lobs to, and he's a guy that is he's restless in terms of glass production. He's going to be able to get you a ton of offensive rebounds, which will really be beneficial for the Los Angeles Lakers. Christy Wilson says Westbrook will cause nothing but drama for the Lakers, in her opinion. Christy, I heard a story that Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis met to iron out this fit 3 weeks before the trade was consummated. And, Russ, I think, wants to win now. Russ, I think, is tired of losing, and I think he will sacrifice and do what it takes to win. And he's playing with the best player in the the best player on the planet in LeBron James, who worked well with J.R. Smith. He worked well with other players that were considered knuckleheads and bad fits. So um, I will trust LeBron's judgment. I think LeBron deserves the benefit of the doubt and hope he can, work wonders with Russell Westbrook and get Russ to buy in, or else this will not work and will blow up in the Lakers' face. Casey says Kuzma agrees, definitely inconsistent. He sure went Higgins down the stretch into the postseason. 100% agree. Christy says Westbrook is not a point guard based on what I've watched. He seemed more like a shooting guard to me. Christy, I would disagree. I think he's more of a point guard because his shooting stats are terrible. Last year, I think he only shot like 32% from three. So he can't play that much off the ball. He needs the ball in his hands, and he's a guy that creates for his teammates. So if I'm the Lakers, I think the best option is to have Westbrook as your point guard. And my guy Brandon Herrera says, "What's up, Brandon? Thanks so much for tuning in here on this MI6 Sports Network 100K special." But moving into our second sports topic for tonight, we are going to preview and predict the upcoming NBA free agency. We've got about 7 names on this list. I will be picking destinations for them. NBA free agency, folks, begins at 3 p.m. Pacific tomorrow afternoon. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a frenzy, and it's going to be a flurry, folks. As you're going to have deals go down like this probably every minute. We're going to have to be playing the breaking news segment that there is a deal agreed upon tomorrow. But speaking of free agency, folks, before I get any further when it comes to the free agency predictions, I just want to let you guys all know, make sure you guys tune in at tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific, folks, as we are going to have a big show, folks, for you. We're still going to have Wild Sports Talk. Wild Sports Talk is not going anywhere. We're going to have Wild Sports Talk tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific with myself, John Alcorn, and Callan McClurg, as well as Sammy Sharp. So that's going to be there. But folks, 3 p.m. Pacific time, right when free agency starts and the bell rings and everybody's free to negotiate. Myself and John Alcorn will be going live here from the MI6 Sports Network. We are presenting the MI6 Sports Network NBA free agency special. We are going to react to every deal that goes down starting at 3 p.m. Pacific. The show will go from 3 p.m. Pacific to 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. So in that 1.5 hour period, we're just going to be reacting and watching as the news goes down one by one. It's going to be so much fun. We might have to have like a special buzzer, because if we keep playing that breaking news segment every single minute or every time the news or a deal is agreed upon or a rumor goes down, we might wear out that breaking news button. So we might need to find a way to have another button or another sound effect implemented in here. But folks, let's start a free agency. We have Kawhi Leonard, Kyle Lowry, Lonzo Ball, Dennis Schroeder, Chris Paul, DeMar DeRozan, and Kelly Oubre Jr. as the 7 players that we are going to predict where they will land here in free agency. As once again, NBA free agency opens up tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific time. And folks, let's start with one of the hottest names out there right now on the market, Kyle Lowry. Folks, feel free to fire away in the comment section and give me your thoughts on where do you guys think that Kyle Lowry will go when free agency begins starting tomorrow. Kyle Lowry this year averaged 17.2 points per game, 6.4 rebounds per game in 34 minutes of play. He's an NBA champion, longtime Toronto Raptor. It seems like his days with the Raptors, it's officially over. I think that he's not going to be a Toronto Raptor. In fact, Toronto tried to trade him at the trade deadline. So he's done in Toronto. He's going to be with a new team. Right now, the rumors are saying that Miami's trying to put together a package of Goran Dragic and Precious Achua in a sign and trade to Toronto to try to get Kyle Lowry to pair with Jimmy Butler on the Miami Heat. You have other teams like the Dallas Mavericks, who could be a team to watch as a potential suitor for Kyle Lowry. Other teams like with the New York Knicks, they need a point guard. Chicago Bulls, they need a point guard. Though I don't know if Lowry will be willing to go to Chicago because young team. They probably want a younger point guard, and he just doesn't fit their timeline in terms of trying to win now. And the Lakers were a spot that I could have seen Lowry maybe going if the Westbrook trade didn't happen. But now, Westbrook's in Los Angeles. They don't need a point guard. The Clippers, I don't know how that's gonna fit because they would have to do a sign and trade, and it would just be really really complicated situation. The Pelicans, Lonzo Ball, I think is all but gone in New Orleans, so they need a point guard. Looking at all these teams that need a point guard, folks, the team that I'm going to say that I'm going to predict for Kyle Lowry is I think Kyle Lowry goes to the New Orleans Pelicans to replace Lonzo Ball because David Griffin, he has a lot of pressure on him to win now. He built a team with Zion, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, and Eric Bledsoe, Eric Bledsoe, Lonzo Ball, and it blew up in his face when he selected the wrong coach to coach the when he select Stan Van Gundy to coach the Pelicans, and it just blew up. And now he hires Willie Green. There is a lot of pressure to win now, or at least just get to the playoffs. So I think Kyle Lowry, there's reports the Pelicans are willing to offer him a 3-year, $90 million deal. Miami doesn't have that kind of money. Chicago, I think, is looking for a younger point guard. New York, they did make the playoffs. They could offer Lowry a contract similar to New Orleans, but I think he chooses New Orleans. The ability to play with Zion, the pick and roll with Zion and Lowry would be deadly. And also, you would be able to play with that young team, Brandon Ingram as well. The Pelicans are close to making the playoffs and having probably a good run in the postseason. I think they need that veteran point guard like Kyle Lowry, and he will be able to deliver it for them. I think Kyle Lowry goes to the New Orleans Pelicans. Brandon Herrera says all will be in a Minnesota Timberwolves jersey. Brandon, keep dreaming, my friend. And I don't think so, man. You guys are gonna unfortunately have to just build from within, build through the draft, because until the culture changes in Minnesota, I really don't see the Minnesota Timberwolves landing any of these big name free agents. So for me, I got Kyle Lowry going to the New Orleans Pelicans. I got the Pelicans giving him a 3-year, $90 million contract to play in New Orleans alongside Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram and play for the new head coach, Willie Green. So you can pencil that in there, folks. Going into our next free agent, we have Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is a free agent. He declined his player option today. There's reports from Crispy Haynes that he will take meetings with some teams, but the likely result is that he's going to re-sign with the Los Angeles Clippers. I don't know if I buy that or not because the Clippers played better without Kawhi. There were rumors that a lot of the Clippers teammates did not like how Kawhi was getting all this great treatment. So, you know what? Looking at some of the teams, before I give my prediction, looking at some of the teams that could be in a Kawhi Leonard sweepstakes. Obviously, I would love for him to be with the Los Angeles Lakers, but it's not going to happen. I mean, unless he's going to be willing to take a $50 or $45 million pay cut, that's not happening. So some of these teams that could be in the Kawhi Leonard sweepstakes. Miami. Miami wants another star alongside Jimmy Butler. They have the resources. Golden State was a name, but you would probably have to trade Wiggins. You would have to trade you would probably have to trade Wiggins. You would probably have to trade Klay Thompson, honestly, to make that happen because you need to match salaries. And also probably gonna have to trade Jonathan Kuminga, who you just drafted, and also Moody as well in a sign and trade. So that is a possibility, but not likely to happen. The Dallas Mavericks, they just got a lot of cap space. They traded away Josh Richardson to the Boston Celtics. Maybe for a run at Kawhi. We've been hearing they want to get a Luka another star. Kawhi saw what Luka can do, saw what the Mavs can do. Maybe he wants in with Luka and wants to team up with Luka and go back to Dallas and be a Dallas Maverick this time, or go back to Texas. I mean, go be a Dallas Maverick this time instead of a San Antonio Spur. The Clippers definitely a possibility, and the New York Knicks. You know, the Knicks very star hungry. They made the playoffs. They have a lot of cap space, but also, folks, take into account that Kawhi Leonard, he will probably miss all of next season or majority of next season because of the torn ACL. So when I look at this and Casey King says Kawhi, he could be Miami bound. Casey's going with Miami or Dallas as a potential spot for Kawhi Leonard. Brandon Herrera with a great comment. You want everyone to side with the Lakers? Yes, I do, Brandon. I mean, if we could get LeBron, AD, Tatum, Steph Curry, Kawhi Leonard with, I'm trying to think, Giannis, that would be great, but that's not going to happen. But yes, I do want everybody to sign with the Los Angeles Lakers because that's my team, Brandon. That's my team. But going back to Kawhi, folks, you know, I'm trying to think of a place where Kawhi could go. I don't think he goes back to the Clippers. I really don't. I think where Kawhi Leonard goes, folks, is I think Kawhi Leonard goes to Dallas. I think he goes to Dallas to pair with Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks just got a ton of salary. They still have to dump Porzingis' contract to make that happen, but you could just attach a first round pick to Porzingis because the Mavericks don't need their first round picks. They don't need their first round picks. They're focused on winning now. They're not focused on trying to get a player in the draft and develop him. No. I think Kawhi Leonard is going to Dallas. Kawhi saw what Dallas is capable of. He saw how good Luka is. He's had a front row seat the last couple of seasons in the playoffs. I think that Kawhi is going to Dallas. He will be a Dallas Maverick alongside Luka Doncic. And man, that's going to be a very, very great duo. Not for next season because I think Kawhi will be out next season, but 2 years from now, imagine a Kawhi and Luka duo. That would be actually a great fit because Luka or Kawhi doesn't need the ball to be a great player in his hands. He can play off the ball. He's very good at playing off the ball. He needs a point guard that can get him the ball in his spots, and Luka is perfect for Kawhi Leonard. So I think Kawhi goes to Dallas. That is probably the biggest surprise I've got thus far for all of you guys.
What the are you looking at?
Yeah, you might think I'm crazy, but yes, I've got Kawhi Leonard going to Dallas to pair with Luka Doncic and leave the Los Angeles Clippers. But folks, going into the comment section, wow, Big B dropping the bomb. Kawhi Leonard to the Detroit Pistons. I'm sure Adam Barber will be very, very happy. Maybe they'll give him the max, and maybe they can give him ownership of the entire state of Michigan. Maybe that's what they can offer Kawhi Leonard to try to get him to come to the Motor City. And maybe they can also give him the entire Ford headquarters, give him ownership of Ford. Maybe they can do that as well. But folks, moving on to our next free agent, we have Lonzo Ball. And Lonzo Ball is a restricted free agent, so the Pelicans have the right to match any offer sheet that he gets. Lonzo Ball this season, he's improving, with the Pelicans. He finally was healthy this season. Lonzo Ball played about, or he averaged 31 minutes of play, 14.6 points per game, 4.8 rebounds per game. Lonzo had his best year thus far of his young career. And, when you look at the teams that need point guards, I listed them out there. You look at the Knicks, you look at the Bulls, you look at those are pretty. I think those are the top two teams right now that needs point guards. Folks, there's been a lot of rumors that Lonzo could be going to Chicago. In fact, Crispy Haynes is reporting, or he reported this 15 hours ago, that Lonzo Ball to Chicago is gaining momentum. According to Crispy Haynes, Lonzo intends to work out a contract with the Bulls when free agency officially opens. You know what? I know there's a lot of momentum trending towards Chicago. But, folks, I'm going with New York. Lonzo Ball, his daddy, LeVar, has always wanted him to play in New York. The Pelicans, they're not going to match any offer sheet in terms of what I have, because I got Kyle Lowry going to New Orleans, so he's going to take up all the money the Pelicans have left. They won't match it. They don't have any money left. So with Lowry going to New Orleans, I think Lonzo will go to the Knicks. The Knicks are desperate. They want an upgrade from Derrick Rose. Lonzo is young. They can build the team around him and Julius Randle as well. Lonzo's got a connection with Julius Randle from their days playing with the Los Angeles Lakers, and I just think that makes a lot of sense. I have Lonzo actually getting a 4-year, $88 million contract to play for the New York Knicks. The Bulls are willing to offer 4-year, 80. I think the Knicks are desperate. They're going to outbid the Bulls and try to overpay Lonzo, and I think they are going to end up overpaying Lonzo and give him a 4-year, $88 million contract, which the Pelicans won't match because I have them getting Kyle Lowry. Brandon Herrera with a question. He says, could Kawhi not sign this season? Just wait until next season. He could do that, Brandon. He really, really could. But I think it's the best interest of him just to sign with the team so he can so he could rehab with that team and in their facility instead of taking the year off and not signing with anybody. Brandon says Ball will be going to team up with his brother. Wow, that's another interesting fit. I don't know how that will work though, because LaMelo right now is the point guard in Charlotte. They got PJ Washington, they got Devontae Graham, they got Gordon Hayward. They don't really have that much money to offer Lonzo Ball. So unless Lonzo's willing to take a dip of what he's going to get on the open market, I just don't see that happening. Brandon Herrera says Ball going back to the Lakers. No way, Brandon. They just got Westbrook. They don't have the money to get him. If Westbrook wasn't a Laker, I could see that being a fit. But the Westbrook thing erased all hope of Lonzo Ball going back to the Los Angeles Lakers. So I got Kyle Lowry so far going to the Pelicans, Kawhi Leonard leaving the Clippers, going to Dallas to pair with Luka Doncic, and I got Lonzo Ball going to the New York Knicks. Now let's move on to Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder, I criticized him in the beginning when I was talking about Russell Westbrook. I said that, he's not worth the 4 years, $100 million contract that he wants. And I said that if a team gives it to him, they will be absolutely foolish. I still maintain that. Dennis Schroeder this season averaged 32 points per game, 15.4 points per game, 3.5 rebounds per game. Folks, when you look at that stat, do you really believe that is 15.4 points per game in 32 minutes of play? Do you guys really believe that is $100 million plus worthy? I do not believe that. I'm pretty sure Edward does not believe that he's worth 100 plus million. Those stats are worth 100 plus million. Hell no. Any team that gives him that type of a contract will be foolish, and they will regret it for a long, long time. But we have to pick a destination for him. I think a team will do it because they're desperate. And the team that's going to do it is the last team that has a big need at the point guard position. And that is the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls, they will be outbid by the New York Knicks for Lonzo Ball. So they're going to pivot to plan B. And they're going to go snatch up Dennis Schroeder. I predict they give Schroeder a 4-year, $115 million contract. There's been reports that Billy Donovan loves Schroeder. Billy Donovan has a past connection with Dennis Schroeder, and he's going to want to do all he can to get Dennis Schroeder to play for the Chicago Bulls and in that red uniform in Chicago. I got Dennis Schroeder going to Chicago. Him and Zach LaVine, that's going to be an interesting fit for sure. And Nikola Vucevic, I think Schroeder will improve the Bulls, but I think the Bulls will. Their ceiling is probably a 6, 7, and 8 seed with Dennis Schroeder in a Chicago Bulls uniform. But folks, give me your thoughts on where you guys think Dennis Schroeder goes. Casey King, he says Clippers will be fools to do. I agree. You know, if there's reports they need a point guard as well. Rondo didn't really work out. They might move on from Pat Bev, but you're gonna have to trade a bunch of folks to get Dennis Schroeder. And if the Clippers get Dennis Schroeder, I will absolutely love it as a Laker fan. And also, I will be very happy, and I'll probably pop some champagne because the Clippers lose again. But going into our next free agent, we have Chris Paul. Chris Paul, this is very interesting. You know, he just led the Phoenix Suns to the NBA Finals, but he was a big part of the Phoenix Suns choking in the NBA Finals. Chris Paul declined his $44.2 million contract. I don't think he wants more money than 44.2. What I think he wants is more security, and I think he wants, more years instead of more money. So for me, Chris Paul, I have Lonzo Ball going to the Knicks already, so they don't need another point guard. I got the Bulls getting Dennis Schroeder. They don't need a point guard. Clippers, but they gotta have to trade everybody to make that happen. Lakers would have been my preferred destination if the Westbrook thing didn't happen, but Russ closed that door. I'm looking at the possibilities right now for Chris Paul. Chris Paul, the Suns, great fit. I think, him staying there would be wise. I just don't see any other, great fits for Chris Paul besides the Phoenix Suns. There were reports that the Pelicans, they need a point guard. They could reunite with Chris Paul. Chris Paul loves himself some Willie Green. Willie Green was the assistant coach for the Phoenix Suns this year before he took the head coaching job with the New Orleans Pelicans. I got Paul re-signing with the Suns. I think Chris Paul will stay with the Suns on a 3-year contract. And I think he'll play out the rest of his career with Devin Booker in the desert. And Casey King agrees with me as well. Paul, I still think he re-signs with the Suns. Yeah, you just went to the NBA Finals. No reason to leave that team. I think that's an easy decision. But going into our final two free agent predictions for tonight, we got DeMar DeRozan, the shooting guard / forward for the San Antonio Spurs. He is a free agent. And folks, there's reports that he could take a $20 million pay cut to play with the Los Angeles Lakers and play with Russ, LeBron, and AD and make it a big four. There's reports the Clippers could be targeting him. There's reports that he could reunite with DeMar DeRozan or reunite with Kyle Lowry in Miami. DeMar DeRozan can play. He still can play even though DeMar DeRozan is currently I would say he's 31 years of age. He's going to turn 32 in just 6 days. So happy early birthday to DeMar DeRozan. This guy can ball, average 21.6 points per game. Last season for the Spurs as their number one option. You know what? I'm going to do it, folks. There's just way too much smoke for there not to be fire. And where I have DeMar DeRozan, to our producers, start pulling up that clip of, the what clip, because you guys are going to be surprised. Folks, I got DeMar DeRozan going to the Los Angeles Lakers and playing on the mid-level exception and playing and pooling a David West instead of, going for one last big contract. He's going to take a significant pay cut, return home, and play and try to win a championship. DeMar DeRozan, folks, I predict will be a Los Angeles Laker.
And also, James says,
DeMar DeRozan will be a Los Angeles Laker. That is my prediction.
Did I do that?
Yep, I just did. Exactly. I just picked that. And I saw Edward letting out a what did he just say? Yes, I picked it. DeMar DeRozan to the Los Angeles Lakers to go home, play for his childhood team, play with LeBron, play with AD, play with Russ to try to win a championship. And man, DeMar DeRozan on that team with LeBron, AD, and Russ, they will be super potent. And I don't know, what he will play with the Lakers, whether it's on the bench, coming off the bench, or whether it's, shooting guard next to Russ. I don't know. But to have DeMar DeRozan on the Lakers will be so damn sweet. And I think he will ball out with the Lakers. And he will be a great insurance policy because we know that LeBron's getting up there in age. Anthony Davis, he's always hurt. If those two guys go down, God forbid, if those two guys go down, you won't just have Russ as your only scorer and your primary playmaker. You will have DeMar DeRozan as well. So he will be a great insurance plan. But once again, I got Kyle Lowry to the New Orleans Pelicans, Kawhi Leonard leaving the Clippers to join Luka Doncic in Big D with the Dallas Mavericks, Lonzo Ball going to the Big Apple to the New York Knicks, Dennis Schroeder to the Chicago Bulls, and Chris Paul re-signing with the Phoenix Suns, and DeMar DeRozan going to the Los Angeles Lakers.
Stop it. Get some help.
Oh my God. But moving on to our last free agent, and that is Kelly Oubre Jr. Kelly Oubre Jr., he was inconsistent, and when he was on the court, he was inconsistent. And also he was hurt for a bunch of this season. You have the Heat that are interested in him. It seems like he wants to leave the Warriors. That just wasn't a great fit for him. He didn't like how Steve Kerr used him this season with the Warriors. So I think he's for surely gone from Golden State. There's reports the Spurs are interested in signing him. Also, the Mavs might be an option, but I have them getting Kawhi, so I think you have to cross that off the list. You know what? I'm going to go with Kelly Oubre Jr. to the Los Angeles Clippers. Yes, I'm going with Kelly Oubre Jr. to the Los Angeles Clippers.
How about no?
Sorry about that, man, but I got him going to the Clippers because Kawhi's going to be gone. And the Clippers, they need another guy that could score the basketball and can play that small forward position next to Paul George. And, he's going to be plan B or C for the Los Angeles Clippers. And I think they're going to be desperate to try to replace Kawhi's production and also, like I said, get a small forward. And, Kelly Oubre, he's probably going to be cheap, way cheaper than Kawhi. He's probably going to demand like $15 million a year. I would do that if I'm the Clippers, and I think they'll move on from Batum. They'll probably move on from Patrick Beverly as he's too much of a cancer in the locker room. I see him going to the Clippers because I think that the Clippers will be desperate to try to get something, to replace Kawhi and try to maybe stand their ground against the Los Angeles Lakers. Casey King, he's got Kelly going to Sacramento. I could see that as well because Sacramento, a lot of cap space, desperate. Luke Walton needs to save his job, so he needs to win now. Plus, they always like to get guys that played for the Golden State Warriors under Steve Kerr. I don't know why. Maybe it's the Luke Walton Warriors connection, but they always seem to like to get the leftovers from the Golden State Warriors. But once again, folks, reading off this list, I got Kyle Lowry going to the Pelicans, Kawhi Leonard going to Big D to pair with Luka Doncic and leave the Los Angeles Clippers, Lonzo Ball going to the New York Knicks, Dennis Schroeder going to the Chicago Bulls, Chris Paul re-signing with the Phoenix Suns, DeMar DeRozan joining LeBron, AD, Russ in LA, in the purple and gold with the Los Angeles Lakers, and I got Kelly Oubre Jr. as well going to the Los Angeles Clippers. So those are the free agents we got. But folks, going into a baseball topic before we go into our MI6 Sports Network reflection, and that is the Oakland A's. My Oakland A's finally won a series for what it seems like forever. They beat the Los Angeles Angels 8-3 to take 3 out of 4 from the Angels today at the Big A. The big story of this game was my man, Dalton Jeffries, making his second career start in the bigs. Dalton Jeffries, he's had a long road to get to the big leagues, a lot of arm injuries, Tommy John, all that stuff. He gets to the big leagues. He pitches 5 innings, gives up 3 hits, 3 earned runs, walked 3 batters, struck out 3, and he gets his first major league win. And Matt Olson hit a massive 3-run homer. Starling Marte had a big day. He had 3 hits, scored 2 runs, walked once in 4 at-bats, and Yan Gomes, in his debut with the Oakland A's, has 2 hits and also 3 RBIs, including a 2-run homer that gave the A's the lead that they would not give up. Folks, what a day. What a win for my Oakland Athletics. It's I don't know what to say, man. Dalton Jeffries, first of all, shout out to him, making his second career start, gets his first career win. I mean, the guy, it looked ugly early on, folks. It really did. It looked really, really ugly early on. Dalton Jeffries, he struggled, was giving up big hits, was giving up loud contact, was walking everyone. I thought his day was going to be done after the second inning. I really did, but he battled back, got off the mat, dusted himself off, and pitched 5 innings, gave up 3 runs, 3 hits, struck out 3, was really, really strong the final couple of innings. Shout out to him. Great performance. Glad that guy got his first career major league win. You always want to see it. And I hope he does get a second start because I think he definitely deserves it. But all that hardship to have to go through and to finally get your first major league win. Bravo to Dalton Jeffries. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the big leagues for a long, long time. And watch out for him, man. Watch out for him in the years to come, folks. And I think this is the start of something special for the Oakland A's because their lineup is finally starting to get going, especially in the final couple of series of this road trip, San Diego and then the Angels. Their lineup, they're starting to get hot. Laureano's starting to get hot. Marte, he's been a big boost to the lineup. Yan Gomes today, Matt Olson, even Chapman has started to hit as of late. So the A's lineup is starting to get hot, and I think that it's good. It's a good sight to see them getting hot at the right time. But it's not about the lineup today or the offensive production. Today was about Dalton Jeffries and his first major league win and a great performance by Dalton Jeffries today. He is going to be a force to be reckoned with for a while. But folks, I want to welcome in one of my colleagues here on the MI6 Sports Network. It's been a fun 54 minutes, but we finally have someone join me from the network. We have my guy, Martin Garcia, a.k.a. Jimmy Buckets. What's going on, Martin? How you doing, my man?
I'm doing pretty good. I actually just got back from playing basketball right now, dude. I was balling up in the park, having fun, shooting threes, getting some dubs. How's it going, y'all?
Oh, it's going great, man. Glad to have you join our MI6 Sports Network 100K celebration. You might be the only one besides my guy Edward that is joining us tonight because Callan, he couldn't make it tonight. Steven, I don't even know where he's at. I mean, I've been trying to send him, text him. He's not answering. Shree's asleep. John Alcorn, I don't know where he's at right now. So
Where's Trevor Williams at?
Trevor's sleeping, man. There's no way he's doing a show at what is it, like 2:56 a.m. right now. Sammy as well, he's sleeping too. So you might be like the only guy from MI6 that is joining me on this show right now. So thanks for joining me, my man, and thanks for saving this program. But before I ask you about your experience on MI6 and to reflect on the 100K view milestone and stuff and that, what was your reaction to Russell Westbrook going to the Lakers?
Honestly, dude, not surprised. I truly believe. I mean, Westbrook, his overall game, honestly, is probably up there. It's all-time greats. I mean, it really is because triple-double machine. But Russell Westbrook is not a winner, and not only that, but he's kind of getting up there, man. He's trying to get up there, And not only that, but he's always been a me player, and LeBron is the opposite. But he still wants the ball in his hands. AD, to be dominant, needs a ball in his hands. It's like, good luck. LeBron may adapt, but AD and Russell Westbrook, I don't think they're going to work out. And honestly, I think it's overhyped. Just saying. That's all.
Yo, I was saying that, when I first talked about it, I said like I don't know how it's gonna work. I really don't because LeBron needs the ball in his hand, Russ needs the ball in his hand. So you can't, have Westbrook be the guy, the shooting guard, and play off the ball because he sucks at shooting. So if you have him play off the ball, he's just gonna brick every single shot, and teams are just gonna leave him wide open on the perimeter. So I don't know how it's going to fit. I'm intrigued to see. But, Mark, do you agree with what I said earlier that I think even though the Lakers got Westbrook and they might get DeMar DeRozan, Carmelo Anthony, all those guys, but I think you still have to say the Brooklyn Nets are the favorites given the fact that they fit better and they have the continuity.
I think Brooklyn Nets are the favorites again, even though they did choke this year. One healthy year and one not distracted Kyrie, dude, they're gonna win it. They're gonna go 16-0. They're that good, and they really are that good. They're the most talented team. They are losing Dinwiddie, but let's face it, he didn't even play a game with his team, so not a big loss here. And as far as like DeAndre Jordan, he's their biggest liability, and they'll get rid of him eventually. So I think the Nets are a lock in the finals next year. And that's kind of bold because, I mean, you got the Bucks, you got Giannis, but I think it's a lock. I think I'd bet the house right now that the Nets make it to NBA Finals. Not only that, but if they meet the Lakers, they will run the Lakers to the ground. I'm sorry. LeBron is old, AD is broken, and Russell Westbrook, he's been injured before, but he's fine now, but he's not enough. Let's face it. Harden will shred him. KD will dominate him. And I mean, Kyrie, he'll match up with him. So I'm taking the Nets this year again. I took them last year. I take them again this year.
Yo, I gotta agree with you, Sally, because I thought the Nets should have won it this year. I really do. That like if they were not injured, if they were not injured against the Bucks, they would have easily beaten the Bucks. I think it would have ended in probably 6 games, and then the Nets would have met who was it that was in the Eastern Conference Finals? Oh, it was the Hawks, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the Hawks. I think they would have easily beaten the Hawks, and even though like I like Devin Booker and I'm wearing this Devin Booker shirt right now, the Nets would have ran rough sod all over the Suns. Like, because the Suns just don't have enough firepower to compete with KD and Kyrie and James Harden. So I thought the Nets should have won it this year, but if they are healthy next year, I think they are definitely a lock to come out of the Eastern Conference. And man, we're going to see the Lakers and Nets, and that's going to be a very interesting matchup to watch. But well, let me get your thoughts about like some of these like free agents that we were predicting. Where do you think Kyle Lowry goes? Because there's reports that he might go to your Miami Heat. Your Heat, I think, is trying to arrange a sign and trade for him right now. Do you think Lowry does go to your Heat, or do you think like he goes to the Pelicans, like I predicted he was going to?
I think. Well, I mean, you did hear today. Goran Dragic. The Heat pretty much opted into his last year, the team option. So Goran Dragic is back at around 19.4, 19.5 million, I believe. And if that's the case, there's no way we get Lowry. And if we do, the only scenario I see happening is a sign and trade. Dragic resigns, Lowry resigns, and they swap. Because you're not going to have 40 plus million dollars on these two guys that are not going to play together. So I think we're going to keep Goran. But if it happens, it'll just be because of sign and trade. The Heat the Heat just gotta wait it out, man. They gotta wait it out for another big superstar to make the market. I mean, Kawhi Leonard. I mean, he's supposedly hearing offers. That's what he said. He's hearing offers, but realistically, Miami just kind of reloads, runs it back again this year. Hopefully next year a big free agent comes out. I don't really know much about next year free agency. I think Clay is a free agent, but Miami needs a superstar along Jimmy Butler. And there is no superstar right now outside of Kawhi.
I think Curry's a free agent as well, but I don't see him leaving Golden State. There's no way.
Me neither.
But where do you think Kyle Lowry ends up, if not Miami?
If not Miami, I've heard Dallas, dude. I've heard Dallas. Have you heard Dallas?
I have, but I have him going to the Pelicans because I heard that the Pelicans are reportedly willing to offer him like 3 years, 90 million because they have that cap, like they have a lot of cap. So I just don't think he could like turn down that much money. You know, if someone's offering you like $30 million like per year, plus the Pelicans aren't that far from making the playoffs with Zion and Brandon Ingram.
If they do that, they'll have to get rid of Lonzo, man. They'll have to give up his rights.
If you're like David Griffin, you would do that in a heartbeat, getting rid of Lonzo and getting Kyle Lowry.
That's true. That's true. Honestly, though, I don't think Lowry's going to be much of a game changer for the Heat or the Pelicans. I mean, he's a great baller. He is. He doesn't have very many flaws. But let's be honest. Unless he's going to the Lakers, maybe even the Clippers, the Nets, I mean, he's not really much of a game changer. Is he really going to take to the finals? Is he going to take to the next round? I don't even think he has Jimmy Butler impact, honestly.
Yeah, he's more of a third option on a championship team. But where do you have what's his name? Where do you think Lonzo goes? You think Lonzo stays in New Orleans, or do you think that he goes like to a team that needs a point guard like New York or Chicago?
I think he leaves. If Lowry goes to the Pelicans, he's gone. And if that's the case, he's most likely going to New York, man. I think New York, because he's still a big baller brand. You know that.
Yeah, exactly.
He needs a spotlight.
I haven't going to New York.
Yeah, he needs a spotlight. A team like New York, a team even like Miami, just a team where he could have the big market. That's where he's going to go. Do I think they're a great fit? Debatable. But I mean, Lonzo Ball, he is a game changer. I really do think he is. And he's only 23. So, dude, he has a lot of time to develop. And I still think he could be a very capable championship starting point guard. He's not a superstar. I get it. But he's great. Great defense. And he's a true point guard. Like a legit throwback point guard. That's what he is.
Dude, I think he will be able to make Julius Randle and RJ Barrett and all these other guys that were great on the Knicks this season. I think he will be able to make them better, honestly, by putting them like in their spots to score the basketball and to make plays. But you know, I mean, it's going to be interesting for sure to see where free agency goes. I really anticipate starting tomorrow, we're probably going to see like, you know, moves just jumping out left and right, like starting at 3 p.m.
I believe it. I truly believe it. I hope we make some moves. The Heat. We might lose Duncan Robinson or even Chris Nunn. So I mean, we'll see. we might lose them because let's be real, Robinson is a top three shooting, not shooting guard, top 3 3-point shooter in the NBA, and reports are saying he might get upwards of 20 million a year.
What? Damn.
And I don't think Miami's gonna pay 25 million a year for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, that seems unlikely, man. Because dude, you don't want to strung yourself, with that massive contract, and that will forbid you to get like other big name free agents in
In
the
the
future.
future.
Yeah, like a superstar. But yo, let's get into the MI6 reflection. As you guys all know, the MI6 Sports Network on Thursday, we officially reached 100,000 views. Yo, this, was a huge accomplishment. I don't think anybody on this network ever anticipated that we would reach 100,000 views when we first started. I know me and Steven definitely did not even think we would reach 5,000 views, let alone 100,000 views. But man, Martin, it's been a great journey here on the MI6 Sports Network. The year of like 2020 when COVID hit, all the way until now. Um, what are your thoughts, on the MI6 Sports Network reaching 100,000 views and what this, network has begun or become?
Honestly, it's honestly very impressive, dude. Because I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, what we are, it's just a bunch of guys, from Cali and etc. other states. We just gotta get on online and just talk sports, and we just kind of BS half the time. And it's just like, I mean, 100K views. I mean, most people will not even see it, and I get it. We're not no we're not no Mr. Beast or nothing like that. But I mean, we got 100K views in about a year and about 3 4 months, I would say. So I mean, I think it's pretty impressive, and I mean, I didn't see it coming, honestly. And I think you guys deserve the credit more than anything. But to me, it's just like, dang, that happened. Like, sweet.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. When Callan first brought it up that we like we're closing in on 100,000 views, I was like, really? Because man, we did it like what, a year and what, like a year and maybe 2 months, but
Yeah,
we did it
exactly.
like it was crazy that we accomplished this in just like a span of 15 months. That's how insane this is. But man, like just looking back, it's like I can't believe we did. I just honestly can't. I still can't believe to this very day that we accomplished this milestone, and we've gotten like so many loyal fans throughout this entire year that we've been doing programming.
No, we really did. And I mean, dude, the way it started was just you and Steven arguing pretty much half the video or half the live, and then just one of us stepping in every now and then to calm you guys down. It's kind of like this. It was a stupid idea, but I mean, it was fun, and it still is fun. So I mean, I'm proud of it.
Yeah, I think we're all gonna be proud of this for like the rest of our lives because this like literally started at a Costco gas station. I mean, that was the first ever carpool chats video that we filmed. Was we were waiting in line at a Costco gas station, and what happened was Steven was talking some about the Orlando Magic, and I asked him about if he believed the Orlando Magic were going to make the playoffs, even though the Magic had like at that time a 92% chance to make the playoffs. They were like up by 8 games, I believe, on every single team that was fighting for one of the final playoff spots in the Eastern Conference. And then Steven said like that the Magic would not make the playoff and they would choke that lead. And I could not believe what I was hearing. So I took out my phone, started filming the guy, and that's how MI6 started. It literally started at the Fremont Costco gas station. I mean, they should honestly like make that a landmark, don't you think? That's how crazy this began. And then to go from that to go to you know to go to quarantine chats when everybody was like stuck at home during COVID, and then Callan and Jonathan Mathis come on while Sports Talk comes on, and then you know it's like crazy to like see our like the journey so far. But I want to
And
welcome in Shardo Gupta, who's been a loyal viewer of the MI6 Sports Network dating back to day one. Shardo, my question to you, I guess, is what's your thoughts, on MI6 reaching 100,000 views? You being a loyal viewer of the show from day one.
I think that's a big accomplishment. It's a big feat. I mean, I never believed you would reach that for those many views. I mean, you're really loyal. I mean, 100,000 views. That's like something remarkable. I mean, it's just that's all I have to say. I mean, it's just it's you guys are so loyal on the channel.
and not only that,
Yeah,
but dude, without like MI6, obviously it's not a big channel, nothing like that. And I get it. We're probably not gonna be like getting millions of views,
yeah,
but the fact is, without it, we probably wouldn't even be like that close of friends. Like you, me, even Steven. I mean, I get it. I mean, Steven, like we worked at Amazon. We grew a friendship, but like without the MI6 like group chat and all that, we probably would have like got became distant, and we would have never met Callan. We would have never met John Mathis. We would have never met John Alcorn. I would have probably never really met Shree that well or Trevor that well, and odds are you probably wouldn't either, Isaiah, because I mean, those are more like Steven's friends. So I mean, all in all, this network got us through the pandemic. It really did. Like I remember when it was a pandemic, man, and we just had to stay home. It was so boring. And if you think about it, that's when we got the most views because we were all stuck at home. Even if jobs, no jobs, etc., we were all stuck at home. So we would always just every afternoon start the new show, start planning the new show, start calling. Remember, we'd even call like for 3-4 hours sometimes. And
Yeah, the
honestly,
pre-show calls were legendary, man.
they were like I remember like around holiday season last year, it was just nothing but calls all like every day. Scheduled calls. Steven's lunch calls. Steven as soon as before he gets off work, we're making calls 3-4 hours, and it was just it was fun honestly because obviously at the time everything was closed, so I was like, man, what is it to do but talk to your friends, So I think all in all, regardless of how far MI6 goes, it helped during the pandemic. I'll say that it was fun.
Yeah, I mean, no matter, I don't know how long like this will keep going for. I hope it continues a while more longer. But I'll say this, it to me, it's already accomplished pretty much like everything. Because I mean, we're probably never gonna be ESPN, let's face it. But this network helped us meet a lot of new people. It helped us also, get through the pandemic or get through like the dark days of the pandemic and kept us sane. Because, dude, I don't even know honestly, I do not know what I would do without MI6. I really don't. Like, if there were no shows, if we weren't like podcasting, pretty much every day and doing shows and doing calls and stuff like that. Like, what would we even do? Just sit at home, sit on the beanbag and watch movies all the day, like 24/7? Like, it would be that. It really would be.
No, I agree. I really agree, dude. And let's face it, there's a small chance, unfortunately, that we might be hit with a second surge. There is a small chance. I mean, so if it comes, it comes. It is what it is. We really can't do much about it. But I mean, if it comes, we have already the MI6 network, so we'll bring that back. We'll bring back the daily calls and all that stuff. It'll be pretty fun.
I
Because
mean, we already do it anyway.
yeah,
So
we really do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Martin, if you had to think about like one or two most favorite memories of MI6, what would they be?
I would say for me, one of them was when the Raiders drafted Henry Ruggs. I was pissed. I
I
was
remember that.
pissed. Dude, I wanted CeeDee Lamb. I wanted or Jerry Judy. I was so pissed, man. It was like I remember I raged so badly on the live. I was pissed, man. That was my like top moment for me. My second top moment. Gotta think about this one. Honestly, second top moment would probably be every single time we could roast Steven. It's pretty fun. I enjoy that a lot. Any single time we roast him, man, it's a good time. I'll say that.
And who knows how long like he's gonna come on. I know he's gonna come on soon, but he's been saying soon for a while now. So I don't know how slow the guy is driving, honestly. But Steven, if you're watching, get in here, man. We want to hear what you have to say. But dude, I remember that moment that you were talking about with the Henry Ruggs Raiders when you wanted Jerry Judy or CD Lamb like so bad. You were like so pissed and you raged live and I think walked off the set too when Jerry Judy didn't get picked, or not Jerry Judy. It was Jerry Judy or CD Lamb did not get Raiders. I remember that. It was so
Dude, it's because it was so obvious, you know? It's because a few picks back, it was like for sure CD Lamb or Judy were gone. So and then when they came to our pick, because the Niners didn't draft the Niners drafted a lineman, I believe it was 13th
Kinlaw,
pick.
yeah. Kinlaw.
Yep. 13th pick, because the Niners supposedly were gonna take CD Lamb. And I was like, man, oh well. But then the Niners didn't do it. And I was like, dude, they handed us a gift and we take Henry Ruggs. I mean, Ruggs is great and all, but he's no CD Lamb. He's no Jerry Judy, in my opinion.
You called him the didn't you call him like the next
Hayward Bay.
Bay? Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I
Dude,
was pissed.
yeah, those were like the old days of MI6, man. Was that even before Callan and John Mathis and Sammy and all those guys like joined MI6?
That was just before it, man. I think like a month later they got introduced, but I was livid.
Yeah, dude, that was like a definitely great memory for sure. But Martin, the website. Any thoughts on that website that you created us?
Hey, it was
That was a
fun.
great
I mean,
website, by the way. That was really good.
it's a great website. It's just hard to maintain, man, and it's hard to direct traffic onto the website. That's why it kind of like got killed towards the end, because it's just like, how are we gonna direct traffic that way? And how many clicks are we really gonna get? You know, to maintain it. Like we're trying to write articles, freaking analysis, all this other stuff. But like, if you're only getting 2 to 3 views, it's not even worth it. So I mean, all in all, the website's cool because it has all our episodes archived. But as far as the articles and all that, we kind of failed on that end.
Yeah, dude, like the website was a great idea, but it's just that, we from podcast because there's a lot, it's really hard work, doing podcasts like almost every day. And now you mix that in with articles and everybody's lives going back to normal. I just don't like we just unfortunately don't have the time. But hopefully, we can somehow restart the website. Cause I know the website is still there, but I think there's only been like one new article in like the last 4 months. But back to Chardot. Chardot, you've been watching MI6 ever since day one. What is your favorite interview that you've ever heard us do here on the MI6 Sports Network? Chardot, you're muted, buddy.
I don't remember. What are the interviews that you did?
Wow, we actually have a lot. We did Mark Medina. I'll go through like a top 10 because there's just been so many interviews. We did Dan O'Dowd, the former Rockies GM, Mike Yam, former ESPN, works at NFL Network now. We also did, I'm trying to think. We did a bunch of interviews. We did forget who we
Yeah,
did.
the interview
Ryan
that
Abraham from USC was a good one. We also did, you know, I believe we did couple with Carolina Teague from Dallas. We did Gilbert Manzano from San Diego, or from the covers the Chargers guy. He was great. I believe we also did Rachel Hill, John Spencer. Like a lot of those, like not like athletes. I don't think we've ever done one with an athlete, but oh, Chris Fedora as well. That was a great one with the Cavs dude. But yeah, those are some of the interviews that we did. I'm probably
I
forgetting a
think
lot of them.
some of the ones I really like was the one with Courtney Cronin.
Oh yeah, Courtney Cronin, that was a good one.
Cronin.
The Minnesota Vikings reporter.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. Man, that was a good one for sure. For me, the top one on my list has got to be, man, I would say it's Dan O'Dowd and Mike Yam because Dan O'Dowd, um, former Rockies GM. When I emailed him, I never really thought that we would even get him to read our email. Nonetheless, come on the show. And he came on the show, and he was amazing. He was so nice. He was a guy that we did our baseball predictions with. It was great. To interview him, I think was the highlight of my career thus far. And also, Mike Yam. Mike Yam is a guy that I grew up watching back in Hawaii. I would turn on Sports Center, and there we go. Mike Yam was on Sports Center, and I would always look at Mike Yam when I was watching Sports Center and be like, "Man, look at him. There's another Chinese guy on there working at ESPN. I can do this. I can work at ESPN one day. I can host Sports Center one day. I can work in the sports industry one day." And he really um, carved out a path for me to be in this industry. So I'm really really thankful to him. And that was a great interview. We talked about his career, talked about Trey Lance, the 49ers, and it was just a bunch of good stuff. Really recommend you guys all to go check that out. But Martin gave his piece of what MI6 means to him. You know, I'm gonna give my 2 cents on this, folks. A couple of years ago, I was lost. I really was. I did not know what I wanted to do. I don't know um what industry, or I knew I wanted to do something in sports, but I didn't know what what path to take in the sports industry. And, you know, uh, I was lost. And I was working the A's jobs. I was working the 49ers jobs at Levi Stadium. Great jobs, by the way. Working with a bunch of great people. And, you know, when the pandemic started, I was really, upset. I was really, angry. I was depressed because I had just lost my job with the A's, and I was looking forward all winter long to going back to work with the A's, working with such amazing coworkers like my guy Gordon Kaufman, uh, Michael Valley, um, other guys that I've worked with, forgetting their names off the top of my head, Matt Van Norton as well. Um, and I was really upset. I really was, and I thought that you know my world had crashed. And um, I got to give a lot of credit to Stephen Wang, because I don't know if you guys know this, but he pays for a lot of like the stuff that we use here on StreamYard. He doesn't even charge us a single penny. Um, he's such a great guy. I'm so lucky to call him a friend, and a colleague. And I don't know what I would be doing if MI6 didn't exist. I just don't know. And, you know, this network from the beginning, from me and Steven starting this at a Costco gas station, nonetheless, to then doing carpool chats, quarantine chats, with me, Ryan, Steven, Trevor, Martin, Furman, to just wait out the pandemic, to all the pre-show calls, the post-show calls, um, to just, man, I'm trying to hold back tears right now because it's been a really great journey. It's been such a great, great year and a half that I never saw coming. I thought that, when my age job had crashed, I thought, this would be the darkest year of my life. And, to go from car doing this at the gas station, then go to carpool chats, then quarantine chats, and MI6 and quarantine chats. We were doing good, but not great. And then my guy, um, Callan McClurg, um, Jonathan Mathis, who introduced me to Callan McClurg when he put together the Wild Sports Talk podcast. I'm so grateful I took that leap and you know decided to jump on board with those guys because taking that leap has resulted in two of the greatest friendships ever. And those guys aren't even friends now for me. They're family, and they're second brothers, or they're my brothers from another mother. And you know that Wild Sports Talk coming to MI6, and then to all the interviews with guests that I never ever even imagined that we would be able to do. Courtney Cronin, Dan O'Dowd, Mike Yam, Mark Medina. Then to all the specials that we've had, from the Halloween Spooktacular, the draft extravaganzas in the NFL and the NBA, the holiday specials, the Thanksgiving specials, the Christmas specials, and then to last year, or to January, this year's January and February, where I thought MI6 was on the verge of collapsing. I really did. Wild Sports Talk was in flux. Callan had just gone on hiatus. I thought that, with Callan gone and Jonathan Mathis would leave Wild Sports Talk 3 weeks later, that, the network was gone. Gone, goodbye. But two unsung heroes really saved the day. And that was my guy, Sammy Sharp, and Low Row Antonio. Sammy, Low Row, I don't know if you guys are listening right now. If you guys are listening, I want to tell you guys thank you. I want to tell you guys thank you from the bottom of my heart, because you guys truly saved not only Wild Sports Talk, but you guys saved the MI6 Sports Network. If you guys did not accept my invitation to jump on Wild Sports Talk, I don't think would be here, and MI6 would probably not be here as well. So thank you so much. Sammy, I know you didn't really do any podcasts before. You got invited by me to come on Wild Sports Talk. Appreciate you so much for taking the leap. Loro, you too. Appreciate you a lot, man. You guys are truly unsung heroes, and to now, Callan comes back, and we're still here, and we reach 100,000 views, and this network's not finished. 100,000 isn't our ceiling. We're going to continue to go on and on and on and on and on. And I think what makes us special is that everybody's willing to work together. Nobody puts them before the network. Everybody's willing to check their ego at the door. Everybody's willing to accept everybody else's ideas. Also, what makes us, work, and what makes this network great is, the fact that all of our, reactions, and all of our takes are all genuine. We don't script them. The only thing scripted on this network is probably my long rants. Um, so that's probably like the only thing that's scripted. Nothing is scripted here. Everything is genuine. Everything is, what you guys see is what goes on. And also the last thing of what makes this network great and why I think that this network has I'm trying to so hard to hold back tears, folks, but it's you, the fans. From Christy Wilson, Casey King, James Gonzalez, my guy Tim, Sarge, Big B, Chardot, um, I'm trying to think of others. Evan, Furman, Ashwin, Roger Sanders, Tyler Work, Matt Ong, Gilbert Zhao, Chris Carson, Ishmael Lancaster. That's been there from day one. You guys truly make this network great. And you guys truly make this network so much fun to be a part of and so much fun to do shows every single day. You guys tune in no matter what topic we're talking about, no matter if we're talking about sports or we're talking about how to make mac and cheese or we're talking about McDonald's not bringing back their holiday drinks or, you know, Mom, the show on CBS, getting canceled by CBS. No matter the topic, no matter the time, no matter the show, no matter who's on the panel, you guys always tune in every single show and you guys give your input every single show. And I just can't thank you guys enough. I never ever thought that when we first started this, that we would have such great, great fans that tune in every single night. And here we are a year or 2 years later. And, you guys are truly the real MVPs. Thank you guys so much for your great support. I really appreciate it. All my colleagues on the network, we really, really appreciate it. Uh, I also have a message from my guy Callan McClurg, who says that to everyone involved with MI6, I say congratulations on this extraordinary accomplishment of reaching and surpassing 100,000 total views through hard work, dedication, trusting the process. This milestone is a true testament to everyone's role and importance it is to continue to grow this network and this brand here to the next 100,000 fellas. Toast to everybody. Appreciate all of you guys for being, a part of this journey, part of this network. And like I said earlier, this network is not done, not even close. We haven't even come close to scratching the surface of
Some
this, of what, of
something
our.
I like to share is just
Go ahead,
because
Chardo.
it's
Go ahead.
you and the whole MI6 crew. Without you, this channel would not be possible. It's you guys who make this whole thing amazing. I mean, if you weren't there and Callan wasn't there and everybody wasn't there, this network would never be this would not be created. This MI6 network. It wouldn't be. Just would not be. That's all I have to say. It just would not be the way it is right now. It's really amazing. I mean, great content, great, and I mean, you analyze things really well. So I just love the network. It's just a really nice network, and you do great things for it.
I appreciate that compliment, Chardot. I appreciate it. I appreciate you always watching the programs, and also giving your comments on the programs. Though we may not agree, but you still watch the programs. So,
And
thank you. Yeah,
even
go
though
ahead.
if I don't agree with what you guys say, I still try to contribute as much as I can, even though I don't know what the hell I'm saying, and I might be making stuff up, but I still try and contribute like at least 95%.
Yeah, and I appreciate you and Edward for that. You know, it's the fans. The fans are, big part of this network, and we're so lucky to have you guys on this network, um, or a part of this network and its journey. So, really appreciate you guys. What else do I want to say? Is let's see. Oh, one more thing I want to add before we sign off for tonight is, you know, one more thing is, this network is a family. Martin, me, John Alcorn, Stephen, Callan, Jonathan Mathis, Furman, Trevor, Ryan, Shree. Like Martin said, I don't think we would even, know each other that closely if this network didn't exist. So this network brought all of us together. It really helped. It really helped, develop not only great
And
friendships that will last a
another
lifetime.
person that you forgot to mention was Shriram. He also tunes into the MI6 shows once in a while. Shriram Venugopal.
Yeah, he's amazing, and I thank him for his support. But like Martin said, this network is a family, and it's not just we don't just say it's a family, but whenever we are in other people's or other one of us's neighborhoods, like me and Callan, I was in San Diego. Me and Callan hung out. I was in Texas. Me and Gabe hung out, and Tree and Callan might hang out sometime in the winter. So, it's truly, we're not just colleagues. We're colleagues, and also we're brothers as well. And I'm so thrilled to be able to gain so much brothers along the way on this journey, um, and also the post show calls. I've never been a part of something that has so many calls like every single day, every single, before the show, after the show. It's truly amazing. And I love these guys so much. But
And the good
yeah,
thing
go ahead.
about me is that I'm not an A's fan, but I record A's videos just for you because I know you're a big A's fan. So that's shows how caring I am because I don't like the A's, but anytime an A's video's on, I'm saying like I gotta record it for Isaiah. I have to. He's a big A's. He works for the A's. I have to. I have to record anything. I record the whole home run derby for Matt Olson and sent it to you because I said that he's participating in the home run derby, so I have to take a video of the whole thing, and then record it and send it to you. Because I know you're a big A's fan and you love the A's. You work for them. I mean, I gotta make it really sweet, right? You
Yeah,
work
and
for the
I
A's.
I appreciate you a lot
Yeah,
for that. I
yeah, because you work for the
really
A's. I
do.
mean, I'm not an A's fan, but I record the videos for you just for you because you work for the team. So I
Yeah, and
gotta
I
do.
I look, I
Yeah,
appreciate you greatly for that.
yeah,
Thank you so much for those
much.
videos, Chardot.
Mm.
But it's been a great celebration. A lot of
Yeah,
laughter, a lot of
100.
tears as well. But folks, it is time for tonight's final thoughts. All right, folks, it's final thoughts time. Time to wrap this program up. It's been a great celebration. I want to toast all of you guys once again. Edward, Chardot, thanks for watching MI6 every single day. To Callan, Steven, John, Furman, Trevor, Shree, Ryan, Sammy could not be part of this program today. Cheers go out to you guys as well. But let me start with Chardot. What is your final thoughts for tonight's program?
I'm just saying, I just really love the channel, and I hope it can grow as much as it can, because it will grow. Like in the future, this channel will be so popular. Everybody will watch it. You guys will. You're gonna be the number one channel out there. Everybody's gonna watch it. You're just gonna be so popular.
I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that so much. It looks like Edward had some technical difficulties on his side, so unfortunately, yikes. Unfortunately, we couldn't get him for his final thoughts. But my final thoughts, want to give shout out to James Gonzalez, a new viewer that we have via what? Oh, just in time. My guy Stephen Wayne tunes in right when we're about to end the show. This guy right here is
Hey,
my co-founder of this
hi,
network.
Stephen Wayne.
A guy that pretty much gave me an opportunity to realize my dream and has helped build this network from the very beginning. Steven, welcome onto the program. And what is your thoughts on the MI6 Sports Network reaching 100,000 views?
Well, first of all, I got to shout out my guys in the stream, James Gonzalez, Casey King tuning in tonight. Thank you for the well wishes, James. Thank you for being such a loyal viewer, along with Casey King, Christy Wilson, along with the guys on the MI6 team, Trevor Williams, Callan McClurg, Shreya Anand, Ryan Schreiner. You guys know who you are, Furman Lee. Big shout out to all of you guys, and you, Isaiah, who we started this whole thing from carpool chats, my man. Humble beginnings, and we're all the way here now. And even the guy who just entered the stream here, Shardal Gupta, we're going to add you back real quick after I finish my commentary on just what an astounding achievement 100,000 views is for this network. You've been a big supporter of us as well, Shardal. Absolutely love what you've been doing with Grant Cohn, and hope you keep it going and everything. And Isaiah, you have been the bread and butter of this network, just as much as me and Callan. I want you to know that, man. As our COO, our Chief Operating Officer, you're booking all the special guests, always bringing the energy, and we love to give you shit, but it's all out of love, man. It's just a little bit of brownie love, man. So I can't even describe the moment, man. It's really special. When we started out of the car, I never expected we would get here, but I trusted our guys. We're just a bunch of guys that love to talk sports, no gimmicks, no fake news out here. We just give you our honest, unfiltered opinion. We're not afraid to be wrong. We're not, trying so hard to be bold or anything. We speak our true mind, and that's what we're about as a sports network. And we really are a family. We have all the group calls and everything. We're always encouraging our buddy John Alcorn from his own, Money Over, God Over Money Sports Network. We're always encouraging my guy Trevor and Ryan and Callan, who's just killing it in the sports industry, man. It's just a bunch of guys that know each other on a personal level. And at the end of the day, we're not in it for the views. We're not in it for, the splash production value or to avoid being wrong. We just give you our honest opinion, man. And actually, this weekend, when I was over at Whole Foods, I was wearing my Buckeyes cap. Hopefully the video doesn't stall out too much. And, some guy walked up to me and he's like, hey, go Ohio State Bucks and everything. And, it just gave me this warm and fuzzy feeling. And I'm like, what's really great about our network is we're just like that guy, just that random guy on the street that'll come and say hi to you, like, hey, I'm a Michigan fan, or hey, I'm a Georgia fan, and just make conversation with common folk. We're just common folk who started a sports network, done what we love, and brought it to 100K views. That's what I love about it all, Isaiah. And to spearhead it all, it's you and Callan who've been putting in most of the work. I know I've been in and out and everything. In fact, I just came back from my lovely girlfriend's apartment, which is all neat and tidy and everything. Not as messy and hot as our takes, I'll tell you that. But just really got to shout out the team, man. What a phenomenal team. And I'll leave you guys with this. We are the champions, my friend. Ooh, ooh. And we'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions of the world. Thank you all.
Unbelievable
Thank you,
singing. You finally improved your singing, Steven. So proud of you, Maybe
Yeah.
is that what you've been doing, in your time away from the network, is practicing your singing and improving
Well, I
from
gotta admit, to you, man. You know, I spend a lot of lovely time with my girlfriend over the weekends, and part of our lovely time together is a lot of singing, man. So definitely improved on that front. But let's bring our boy Chardol back into the stream and everything. And Chardol, man, so glad to have you speaking on the network right now. I know obviously 100K views and everything. It's not your own personal network, but sometimes you treat it like that, man. And we just love all the love and support that you give out to us. And not only us, you give so much love and support to Grant Cohn as well. Like, you're passionate about other people's work just as much about as you are about yourself. And that's what I love about you, man. You bring so much energy and passion to it, and hopefully you enjoy my singing, brother.
Great singing, Steven, and a toast to 100,000 more views, fellas, and toast to 100,000 more views. Like I said earlier, we are not done. We are not even close to being.
And something else I
Yeah,
would like to share
MI6 Sports
is
Network, but go ahead, Shardo.
that video of when we were in the after Giants Fan Fest. I can't keep watching that videos. I can't keep watching that. That was such a great moment. Like I cannot stop watching that video, man. That was like amazing when after we came back and we had the talk after we came back from the Giants Fan Fest. That was just amazing. With Steven was there, it was amazing. Like after we came back after that, and we shared all the thoughts of how you felt about the event. After we came
Yeah,
back
and
from the Giants Fan Fest,
Giants are
got some
having a phenomenal
autographs.
season right now.
Yeah, that was amazing. I wish we can do the Fan Fest again and have Steven there again and really fun.
Oh, we'll do it next year. Don't worry. We'll do it next year for sure. Just want to give a shout out real quick to James Gonzalez. We have a new viewer right here. I appreciate you for tuning in. Casey King, Sarge, Brandon Herrera, Christy Wilson, as well as Sterling Engo, first time viewer. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. As well as Evan. And I believe that's it. And also Ashwin Kumar for sharing the video once again. And also want to thank my guy Edward for being backstage with me. I know it was a long 1 hour and 46-minute program. Thank you, Edward, for being in the entire program with me, as well as my guy Chardot. And also thank you to Steven and Martin for tuning into or for being a part of the program tonight, as well as Callan McClure for writing in as well. But folks, it's been a long program. It's been a great celebration, but we got to end the party now, unfortunately. I wish, we could party all night long, but unfortunately, we got to end the party. We'll see you tomorrow back here for the MI6 Sports Network's free agency special coming your way with myself and John Alcorn at 3 p.m. Pacific time. We're going to be reacting live to all the big free agent news as it goes down, starting at 3 p.m. Pacific. And folks, we'll leave you guys with this: 100,000 views for MI6. We are not done. We are not even close to being finished. Thank you for all the support, all the fans out there. And also thank you to my amazing team here at the MI6 Sports Network: Callan McClure, Trevor Williams, Sammy Sharp, Ryan Schreiner, Stephen Wang, Martin Garcia, Shri Anand, Loro Antonio, Chardot. Did I forget anybody else?
I'm not part of the network.
Well, you're a fan. You're a fan of the network, and
yeah,
we have you on as a guest. So you are considered like a substitute on the MI6 Sports Network, as well as Furman Lee. I forgot him as well, Furman Lee. But that's gonna do it for us.
So you're saying are you saying if I'm a substitute, if somebody?
But that's gonna do it for us, folks. Thank you guys for tuning in. 100K down, 100K to go. Let's get this to 200K by the end of next July. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we will see you on Monday. Have a good night.
Later.